The year is 1879, but it is a history not our own. The guns of the Civil War are silent thanks to an uneasy ceasefire between the forces of the North and South. The Great Quake of '68 sundered the California coast, revealing the superfuel called ghost rock. This in turn powered an age of new science, driving men mad with ambition and something else altogether. The United States is divided into 6 nations in a constant state of conflict. Meanwhile, malevolent and sinister forces work from an unfathomable realm to twist the wills of men to their vile machinations. But one thing remains the same. You live by the gun, you die by the gun.
So we're building anticipation. It's gonna be alright, guys. It's gonna be alright. I said, this one doesn't fucking surprise me, to be honest with you.
Alright, well, so we're having technical difficulties here right now. We just had a player, everything all set up. Their camera froze and then their audio didn't work. So welcome to episode 0 of Deadlands. I assure you the aspect ratio will be right on all these cameras here at some point. But it wouldn't be a stream unless something went horribly wrong, as I have learned in doing this last couple of months. But yeah, Deadlands, you know, we are here finally after much anticipation and building, ready to kick off in this fantastic Weird West universe with a motley crew of characters. But our tale begins in the city of Chicago. As the intro said, the year is 1879. And Chicago, as a city, is only mostly rebuilt at this state from the Great Fire of 1871. Virtually all the buildings, including the new train station, are, brand new. The city itself is a walled-in fortress with automatic Gatling guns, Union Blue air cars, and the like, all on proud and, to be frank, a little overbearing display. To anybody from out west at this point in Chicago, it would look like half the Union Army was stationed here. Trains go back and forth constantly, and there are tracks leading every which way, as this is the major rail hub for the Midwest at this point in time. It's a city of tin horns. You know, it's the border between back east and the real world. People like to think that this part of the world is civilized and educated, which sticks in the craw of most folks that do actual living out west. Something that everybody should be aware of is that carrying a firearm is illegal in the city of Chicago, which means that all of you, upon entry, with the exception of Miss Eliza O'Day, have turned over your pig irons to the local authorities to be picked up at the customs office upon your departure from the city proper. If any of you would like, you can attempt to have stored a firearm, but you should bear in mind that brandishing and or using it upon a successful roll to attempt to stash it, of course, would get you at least a night in the Union Hooskow.
Yeah,
So
I'm
before we
definitely
start
gonna try to
anything,
keep one.
you're definitely going to try and keep one, then I am going to need a stealth roll from you.
How do they feel about swords?
Swords are fine, but your gizmo, you rolled a, no, you managed to hide both your, big shooters. Victoria,
That
no.
turned out good.
Yeah, I'm afraid that, you had to turn your irons into the customs office. But yeah, Jeremiah Ulysses Decker has, his guns. Anybody else going to attempt to, stash a gun? I don't think that, Richter, you would turn in your device. Joe, did you try and hide anything?
She's got her knife, so.
Just her knives? All right. So with that, I think we will begin the introductions and adventure proper. So, who should I start with here? I think I will start with Jeremiah Ulysses Decker and Joe E. Doggett. All right. So, how about Jeremiah? Why don't you go about describing yourself for the audience proper?
All right. So Jeremiah is originally a Virginia boy. He was born 37 years ago, before the Civil War, and growing up, he learned to shoot in the backwoods. He became a guard for Wells Fargo, one of their word escapes me, one of their carriage guards, back and forth between Fredericksburg and Richmond, Virginia. The Civil War broke out, and Jeremiah, along with his father and his sister, moved out west down to Texas. And I think we'll leave it at that for now.
And so Jeremiah is a dark-haired gentleman wearing a duster, cowboy hat, the weathered face, long scar running down his cheek, surly countenance and disposition, and is afflicted with a prominent southern drawl, which makes you less than likely. Everything he said is inaudible. Okay, let's fix that. Although you always say that, Drew.
I'm also getting private messages that you got to turn me up, Will.
Roger that. I have you maxed right now.
All right, chat, go ahead and let me know how you hear me now.
I literally have you at 200% volume.
I can turn it
I
up. but I'm
do as
scared.
well.
Yeah. I've
Can
got
you turn
Chuck
up
with-
your output volume in Discord, Mike?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for the feedback. Tibio seems to hear you just fine.
We appreciate you, the audience.
Yes.
Still low, says Trocrix.
How's that sound?
Ooh,
About the same to me.
better.
Maybe you could just scream.
Yell really loud
Yes,
into the
yell,
microphone.
yeah, just yell for the whole time.
All right, how's that sound?
That's so much better.
That is much
Yeah.
better.
Oh my goodness.
Audio duplication.
All
Perfect,
right.
he said. All right, there you go. So
So,
how about you give us that rundown audible?
I'll do that again if you want to check your Sirenscape. Maybe something happened with that
What about Sirenscape now?
for the audio doubling.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck that would be about. I'm not getting multiple channels.
Hey, that's
think-
what Session 0 is for, folks.
Oh,
Yep.
let me
Iron it
take
all
a
out.
gander here. You're muted here, you're muted here, you're muted there, you're muted there. I mean, I do not, you know what? I bet you. Here, give me 1 second here. This fucking voice meter. It's gonna be the death of me. good that it's software that I paid for. That makes me happy.
Right.
Alright, so that is a output.
Well, if you want to look into that, I'll give his description one more time.
I'm feeding through multiple windows. Well, that's interesting. Thank you. Am I still? Yeah, that's because I have this minimize this poof. There you go. Sorry, I'm working on these technical issues here. Did that fix it? They're on a delay there. Let's see here. Yeah, that fixed it. Yeah, it's because I had my Discord minimized. Alright. I think that should be everything, though. That should have fixed... Well, no, I hear my audio. I think it's coming through somebody else's mic, though.
Duplicate voice still.
Still having duplicate voice. Alright. Interesting. I hear it, yeah, in the background. Who the fuck is that playing through? Oh, you know what it is? I bet you I don't have...
You don't have yourself muted in Sirenscape?
No, I do.
Wow.
Oh, and I have the stream muted. I have no fucking clue what that is. That's fun.
Is anyone playing their sound through their speakers? Reverbing back
No.
from their mic?
Everybody talk at once.
Hi.
Hello.
How is that gonna do anything?
Decided, guys, I'm getting me a banjo.
Yeah. Audio Dublin. Yeah, I hear it still. I can't pinpoint who it's coming from, though, because we're in a video call. So I don't get that little circle activation. Let's see here.
Yeah, well, I don't hear duplicate when I go to the stream.
It's much fainter than my voice, and it's only some of the time. But at any rate, I think we got it sorted enough for, you know, first night. All right. Jeremiah, please, reiterate your...
How's everybody hear me now?
Everybody said it was good now, and you do sound much clearer.
Sounds good, partner.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jeremiah, Ulysses Decker, is a 37-year-old man from Virginia. He grew up in Virginia in and around Fredericksburg, and he found work as a carriage guard for Wells Fargo Company, running between Fredericksburg and Richmond, Virginia. And that's where he learned how to shoot. He, when the Civil War kicked off, his father and his sister took him out to El Paso, Texas, with them, and that's where he learned some of his more dastardly things that he can do. He's your standard gunslinger type. He, like I said, is 37. He's wearing a dark brown duster, cowboy hat. He's got a bandana on around his neck, and he dual wields Colt Army pistols, single action pistols. And I'm sure we'll get into why he's in Chicago at some point tonight.
Excellent, excellent. Next up, since we're going to start with Jeremiah and Joe both, we're going to have Joe describe themselves. Joe, visual and rough once over.
Alright, with Joe, she's tall, she's got a tall, willowy body, sandy brown hair, and a very tanned complexion from spending a few too many days under the sun. She wears a very, light linen shirt with a dark fitted vest. She's got her an Australian rancher hat, wide brim hat with a little feather that she's found on the trail and it's stuck in the brim. And yeah, so she was born in 1853 as Josephine Soraya Barney Young in the Great Republic of Deseret. When she was 15, she ran away from home and found her after after certain circumstances. She was lost in somewhere between Denver and Salt Lake, and a trapper found her and taught her how to survive in the wild. And after a few years as a cowboy, she found herself in Chicago, and that's where we are now.
Excellent. So, both of you have found yourself under the employment of one Dr. Elijah Bailey. He is a purveyor of strange alchemical agents, reagents, and elixirs. He is on way to Dodge City, Kansas, to attend the annual Hellstromme Inventor Symposium, an opportunity for, new scientists from all over the United States to compete for a very lucrative contract at Hellstromme Industries. Hellstromme being Darius Hellstromme, the most preeminent scientist of his age. So, he has offered you both the sum of $100 for a 5-day period of time, which is a ludicrous amount of money. And, frankly, it seems like a cakewalk. To you, JD, they say things are different back east. But now that you've seen Chicago, partner, you could add a thing or two. What looks like half the Union Army is camped at the borders of the city, right? Its walls just bristling with cannons and steam gatlings. The sky is covered in a brown haze. And everywhere tin horns are wandering around kind of soul-dead and world-weary. It is a far cry from anything that you would recognize as civilization. Outside of the inside of the saloon in which you currently find yourself getting associated with Joe Doggett, who you have just come to learn is going to be your fellow, shootist, I believe, on this here endeavor. Both of you find Elijah Bailey pleasant enough, if not a little odd, as a gentleman. He is very absent-minded, right? Kind of self-obsessed in a weird way. Very into his boxes of glassware, and weird science materials that are being loaded upon the train. In fact, he says that his who is discoing me now? Why is this happening?
That's the whole crew in the video chat going back and forth.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, I need to turn that off because that is going through to Tin Horn. Tin Horn is a green cowboy. Is what a Tin Horn is. That's somebody that they put on like their studded vest and the bolo tie, and they strut around and pretend like they are cowboys when in fact they've never seen the top side of a horse. That's a tin horn. The city's filled with them. It's tin horns and Union soldiers all around. And Union soldiers are none too kind people with southern affectations. Right? But Elijah Bailey had introduced himself earlier in the day and then proclaimed that, oh my god, I'm late for a meeting. I've got to procure more reagents, right? And told you guys he was going to meet you at this saloon in the evening, which was a couple of blocks away from the train depot. You guys have been set about busying yourself, drinking and conversating. getting to know each other ever so slightly in that way that you do when you're just trying to make friendly with a coworker, right? And yeah, I know. I got to put on streamer mode for those Discord messages because that beeping is maddening. 1 second. I know the cameras are all jacked up again because I should have turned on streamer mode from the start. There we go. Now it shouldn't be allowed. Now you guys can tweet to your heart's content.
Right around episode 10, we're gonna be set. It's gonna look
Oh.
great.
Oh man, right around episode 10, we'll finally have all the characters introduced, right?
All right.
Yeah,
But,
totally.
Dr. Elijah Bailey. Oh, you know what? Why am I still doing the intro music when I spent all day setting up these bitchin', you know, soundscapes to illustrate the fact that you are, in fact, in this here big city saloon? All right. Big city saloon. There we go. Yeah. Excellent. And Dr. Elijah Bailey comes in wearing a bowler hat, elderly black gentleman, good-natured, absent-minded, and he says, I can't believe I nearly forgot. I have another appointment to keep. I must be brief. He reaches out and he hands you guys a sealed glass jar that's filled with a viscous brown substance. And he says, apply it liberally to the main pistons of the steam engine before tomorrow. Make sure that you're not seen. And by liberally, I mean use all of it and spread it evenly over the entire piston. Whatever you do, don't let anybody see you. When that's done, amuse yourselves as you like. But remember, the express pulls out at high moon tomorrow, and you mustn't be late.
What exactly does this here elixir you've handed me do, Doctor?
I can assure you, it is most beneficial, and its effects will be felt most immediately upon transit forward throughout the event. Yes.
Should I be wearing gloves when I apply this?
Oh yes, indeed. Yes. I forgot. Yes. Please do. Do not touch it with your skin.
Yeah. Well, make sure you don't forget nothing else, including my pay.
Oh no, I can assure you, you will be accommodated most handsomely upon our arrival, yes. Yes, it is a dangerous voyage. Yes, but make sure you have performed this task before you slumber this evening, please. It needs a while to inactivate.
Indeed. All right.
I'm just gonna look over at JD and just kind of not say anything, but reach out and take the jar.
Yeah, $100, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'll put
at least
this
he
grease
warned
on
you.
his mama. If
Well,
he's paying me $100.
Yeah.
I mean, he might in fact pay you for that as well. The night is young. But with that, one of these tin horns walks over, Jeremiah, and plucks your hat off your head and puts it on his head. And he turns to his friend and he says, Jebediah, we got ourselves Johnny Reb here, don't we? And his much larger friend, Jebediah, kind of saunters over. He says, what you doing in Chicago?
Be doing your mom here
Mind
in a
give my
bit.
friend.
Well, I mean, so,
I pull out both guns and shoot them all. No.
Oh,
end of
wow.
adventure.
Yeah. No.
Well, yeah, no, he didn't like that crack about his mama, and so, I'm afraid you're gonna get a good old-fashioned bit of fisticuffs.
Oh, fighting is my #1 stat.
Right? Oh, well, there you go. Shit.
No, it is definitely not.
Well, that makes it even more fun, doesn't it?
If it gets too bad, there might be some shooting in here, Joe, so get ready to head for the train.
Oh, my God.
Hey,
I would
You're on your
advise
own with this. I ain't-
there not be any shooting in here, because, Yeah. Oh wow, that's great.
Man, I
Union
barely
Blue
know
Trooper
you.
goes
You're
first.
on your
Wow,
own.
they both go before you guys. Yikes. Wait, how did no?
Oh,
Cause you gotta.
man.
Wait. Oh, boom. There we go. There it is. So it'll be Joe, then both of them, and then hey, just like in the test games, Jeremiah, guess who's coming in dead last?
Yeah.
Oh man.
All
So-
right.
2 things we need though is
Yeah,
adventure
bennies
cards
and
ships.
adventure cards. Yep.
Yeah.
So let me do that right now. Get you all situated. Now,
Your
so
boy
adventure
Jerem-
cards, for you folks that are unfamiliar with Savage Worlds, are cards that I have no idea what these people get until they play them, but there are ways that they can modify the campaign, mostly to my detriment, at any time they choose. So each of you has been issued your adventure cards. Let's get your bennies. Bennies
Sure.
are... Huh?
Jeremiah gets 2 adventure cards nowadays.
Uh-oh. Game-breaking Jeremiah Decker.
Yeah.
Let's just... oh, is that how you're going to do me? There we go. That's what I like. And then... I need to issue you all your... Yikes.
The
Not-
subtle screaming guy in the background.
Yeah, well, it's a full-on bar brawl right now. That might have been activated in an auditory way, a little premature-like.
I
But,
get one more for. I get an
Oh,
extra
that's
Benny.
right.
My bad.
I forget.
It's all good.
You on your feets already?
Yeah, judging by this sounds you got playing, I'm assuming you knew there was going to be a bar fight tonight.
What? No, I just prepare for.
Man.
I assumed that he was going to take your hat, and you were going to be like, you know what? That's cool. Given everything I know about your character from our previous sessions and building, I got the sense that yeah, you would be 100% okay with that. All right, did that just give you 2? Oh, no chips
yeah,
left
you
in
give me
bag.
What?
That's interesting.
Somebody's done took all our chips.
Oh, that's because I have 5
Darn it.
chips.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you can throw that red one back to Joe if you want.
We would not
I
mind
just-
even a little bit.
All right. Poker chips are established. Rounds are established.
Should have got a blue one for you forgetting me.
Yeah, it's random. It's random. At least that's what I'm gonna keep saying. Joe, these gentlemen are about to swing on your newly hired compatriot that, frankly, you don't really know from Adam, but you do know that, you know, $100 is $100, and he wanted the both y'all, so.
Yeah.
It looks like this fellow right here is much burlier. Much burlier.
Alright, well. She's holding that jar of shit.
Yep.
Gonna.
You gonna bust the jar on his head?
Yeah.
Screw the Pistons.
Oh,
Hoo-wee!
yeah.
Oh man.
I'm gonna set it on the table.
Yep.
A few arms length away. Hopefully, they won't go to that table.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a full-on brawl, ain't it? So.
Oh man.
That was a good. Will there be a map for this stuff?
What? Oh, you know what? This
There'd
would have
be a
been
map.
super helpful to have shared quite a while
Oh,
ago.
There you go.
I had arrows drawn. I was all like, yeah, that's the big one right there. Yeah, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm just gonna. On that far. I guess to her left, our right. She's gonna set it on that square. That square table.
Oh, yeah, you guys
Put that
started
right
like
there.
right here, you know? Like you were at the
Okay.
table and they walked up
Yeah.
and started fucking with you, so. That's probably a more accurate
All right.
reflection.
Gotcha. And then,
Oh, and I should probably
Alright.
turn it back to the play screen now that we have a map up.
Yeah.
On occasion.
So the T on the right.
Yeah, this is the big old fella. He was called over by this guy after he took your hat. Yeah, so. Joe is closer to the bigger fella. And Joe, since we're not using shooting irons, it's going to be fighting.
Sorry, I lost connection a little. Alright, she's just gonna rear back and punch that Union Blue Trooper in the right in the jaw.
Going for the big guy.
Yep.
Swings back mighty haymaker, whistling through the air.
Alright, I just throw a
Fighting.
athletics or
No, fighting. You roll
Fighting.
fighting over him.
alright.
Good job, Joe.
You gotta roll fighting
Yeah.
over him, because it's against his parry.
Oh.
Like, drag it over him.
You
Just
can't
like in the
return that
D&D.
7.
Yeah, no, what is that? Why
Even
is
better.
Why is that not...
Do you have him targeted, Joe?
Yeah, I held it over him.
Yeah.
That's so weird. It's just giving me the straight fighting roll, and it's not going against his parry like it should be. Because, of course, there's going to be difficulties. Well, his parry is 6, so a 7 beats it, so you hit him.
Alright.
So now we are rolling damage. Oh, you know why? Because you don't have an attack set up for unarmed fighting. That's the problem we've been having. Because you guys used guns the whole time. Bow, 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 right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what's going on. So 1 second here. We'll need to do that for both of you. Episode 0!
Woo! Get through it. Get through it.
Yeah, I didn't hit anyone without a pistol when we played.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to give you both brass knuckles, because that'll be easier. Congratulations. Everybody in Deadlands has issued a pair of knuckle dusters. I thought that was known.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's canon
Works for
now.
me.
All right, Joe. So now
Yeah.
open up your combat tab. Take that 8 next to that brass
All right.
knuckles and roll it over the fella. There you go. He's shaking. You clipped him in the jaw and you rattled his cage. He didn't expect it from the gal, who he now notices is a gal for the first time, as she nearly lays him out. All right, excellent. And then I need to get
Gonna
these
shake your
brass
head,
knucks
fucking Yankee.
on Jeremiah Ulysses Decker.
I got him.
Oh, you got him? Excellent. Fantastic. So then, townsfolk's turn. Well, he didn't much cotton to that. So, oh, not bayonet, my God.
You're gonna bayonet me? Jeez.
Right, he's ready.
Thought we
He's
were
like,
having
I'm just a
bar
town person, but that's how we roll.
fight.
Yeah.
Oh, and he whiffs. Whiff. Swinging at air as Jeremiah definitely ducks the blow. Union Blue Trooper remains shaken, his cage well rattled by the
Very nice.
blow. And now Jeremiah Decker's turn to go.
All right. Well, Jeremiah's gonna take his shot as that other guy's swinging at him,
Mm-hmm.
slam it down on the table, and punch that guy in the face.
Multi-action penalty. No, go ahead. No, did you duck it by taking the shot? Was he swung at you and you were like,
Yeah,
Bow!
exactly. I had
Yeah,
one more
alright.
shot on the table, so I just bent over.
all right,
Here we
let's get
go.
that swing on him. Oh, and he's deft in return. Fisticuffs all around. Next round.
Yep.
Oh, townsfolk going up again He's ready this time. He's feeling it.
Oh,
He's
man.
feeling it. And no, whiffed again. You know, he's a little drunk, obviously. Union Blue Trooper, no longer
Uh-oh.
shaken, shakes it off, and takes a swing at young Joe Doggett. Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh shit.
oh, man, he is the big one, isn't he? Yeah.
It's always a big
And
one.
Beefy boy.
bum, bum, bum. I am just gonna steal this from you. Man, and you take a wound as he responds backwards, his haymaker sending you rocking against the table and the jar rattling ever so slightly. Yeah, he's a big dude. He is a big dude.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Decker, just saw your partner get her bell rung.
All right, so in that case, am I able to reach that big guy without moving or no?
Yeah, I mean, you would have to, like, shuffle over to the side, but, I mean, you guys are, like, shoulder-to-shoulder brawling. There's no reason you couldn't switch targets and not
Alright.
leave that guy's attack AO, you know?
All right, I'm gonna, from the side, after witnessing that, I'm gonna swing at the big guy. 'Cause
Sucker
this-
punch him, do it at a +2.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
this boy in front of me ain't swinging so hot, so.
No. Oh, oh, and you
Oh.
critically fail.
Yeah.
Man.
Man, so he's gonna catch your arm and pull you into a shot of his own and pop you in the craw. Leaving you shaking. Counterattack, ringing your bell. Lots of bells being rung here. Alright. Joe Doggett. Let's see if you're still oh hell no you're not shaking, and in fact, yeah, you popped right back up. That would have removed, yeah. That removed the
you
wound,
go.
in fact, yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah, you said, I'm
Spit.
yeah, you spit the blood out your mouth and you said, bring it on, motherfucker. Yeah.
And then she's gonna grab him by the shirt and just fucking hat and let him have it.
Thanks for that, Blaze. Oh, man, he soaks the blow. Oh, you hit Jeremiah Decker there.
Well, that's not very nice.
Man, after he saved you?
I aimed at him, but I was trying for the Union.
One more time, with feeling. You got this.
She's
Come
got
on.
she's
Good
got
roll,
Jeremiah
good roll.
Oh, do it again?
Yeah,
targeted. No, you got him
yeah.
targeted.
You got me targeted though.
Oh, yeah, that's what's going on there.
Okay. Wait. I'm trying. I'm
Here, I've
clicking
cleared
on
your
him.
target there. No problem. Poof.
Alright.
Now drag the dice over him. There you go. Oh, and he's shaking
That's
again.
better.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Give and
Alright.
take, back and forth. All right, Jeremiah. Let's see. Oh, you
on,
unshaken
boy.
too, man.
Yeah.
Shake your head, adjust
There
your
you
hat,
go.
back into it. Yeah.
Yep. So reach up, wipe a little bit of blood from the mouth, and I'm gonna hit that big guy again.
Yeah, why not? He's
Try
going to
to.
expect it this time, so no sucker punch. No +2.
There we go.
Man, and he
Nice.
parries.
Oh, no.
Man. He's a fighter,
Nova.
man. He's a fighter. He's been around the block a few times, participated in the rail wars. Yeah,
Yeah.
not the greatest. Joe, big boy still shaking in front of you. Kind of staggering a little.
Is it my turn again?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna punch that fucking Yankee in the face again.
Man,
There you
boom!
Yeah.
And sure
Nice.
enough, you punch that Yankee in the face, and he falls over,
Yeah.
stone
Get 'em.
unconscious. I know now he looks real dead there in this scenario, but you have to imagine he's lying on top of the... You didn't smear him into paste necessarily, but you might as well have. Yeah, serves him right coming up and fucking with you all. Y'all just trying to have a drink. Jeremiah is king this time, therefore acting first on the initiative step.
All right. So I'm just gonna look at this younger, clearly smaller guy and say, "How about that hat back, son?"
Why don't you give me an intimidation with, you know what, +2, because the guy he was planning on doing the swinging for is done tuckered.
Nope. Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's a
There
5.
we go.
He said, I must have been mistaken. You're clearly no spy, sir. And takes off your hat and hands it back to you, and gathers his friend up as, punch drunk, and escorts him out the front of the bar. The rest of the patrons kind of look for a second and then and go back to their drinks, It's Chicago, but it's still a saloon. This kind of thing happens all the time. And on account of there being no knives or hoodoo or, firearms, then, y'all are good to go. Yeah, that's how people settle disputes.
I'm
So
gonna walk up to Joe and
With their fists through
brush
the
off
talking.
her vest a little bit and say, "Hey, thanks for that."
Yeah. Nice fighting you did there.
Not so
Just gonna
bad.
say a
yourself.
little smidge of sarcasm.
Nice fighting you did there. She lays
Look-
this 6.5-foot tall guy out. Yeah.
I'm gonna tip my hat and say, "I got my hat back, didn't I?"
Excellent.
Whatever to do,
Excellent. Well, it sounds like you guys have a mission to apply this mysterious substance to some pistons in a train yard, and the hour is growing late. So I imagine after that little session of fisticuffs, you probably get on that and procure yourself lodging for the night.
Yeah.
A couple of spots
Indeed.
you could sleep here, in fact, in the saloon, which has upstairs room and upstairs gentlemen's rooms. And they range from $2 to $3.50 because this is a big city and a brand new renovated hotel. So they're a little on the pricey side. Alternatively, one could sleep in the sleeper cab of the Hellstromme Express, as your guys' tickets have been cleared by Dr. Elijah Bailey. So either or on that tip. And moving on from then, we are going to go to the young and lovely Victoria Valadez Roja, right? Who will describe herself for us now.
Can't hear you, right?
Not talking.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Like,
Sorry.
I didn't warn him that Victoria had a theme song, I think. I don't know.
You did not, and that is amazing.
Epic.
I cannot. Alright, ¿en el español o hablo en inglés?
English for all out-of-character exposition, please. Yes.
Claro que sí. Eres mi GM y te tengo que respetar. My name is Victoria Valadez Rojas. I come from a very poor town. Most of the times, we're just lucky for it to rain in my farm. I'm a 5'11" woman, and though I am very attractive, as you know, my primary language is Spanish. I can seem brash and coarse, but in fact, I have very caring attributes. If you're on my side, I'll make sure that you're safe, but I may have a hidden agenda. Besides, if I'm helping you, I kind of want a piece of the cake too.
And what does Victoria Valadez Roja look like?
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Will.
What does Victoria Valadez Roja look like?
Victoria Valadez Rojas, she is dark-skinned Mexican, brown hair, and has a lovely Marilyn Monroe birthmark. She wears a peasant dress, any clothes that she can wear on the back.
Excellent. We stumble across... No, that was actually perfectly timed. You don't need to repeat because we only needed the one there. It was perfect. We stumble across Victoria Valadez Roja, having recently accepted a contract from a rather strange effete gentleman that offered her $10 a day for 5 days' work to accompany him on a train ride and demonstrate a fantastical translation device. We discover her location as being the Church of the Traveler. This is a series of 5 or so rail cars that have been abandoned and tied together into a makeshift church that is run by a gentleman named Lucky Green, a remarkably chemical Baptist who offers blessings to anybody on the road. It should be known for our viewers that since Victoria is Mexican, most people in the United States view her with suspicion, as Mexico is currently winning the Civil War. Yes, that Civil War. Santa Anna's fleet is creeping throughout the ruins of California and gathering the most precious resource in the world currently, ghost rock, up in droves. And the Confederate doesn't have the money, and the Union does not have the travel infrastructure to effectively combat them. Therefore, Mexico is at war with both the Confederacy and the Union, and Mexicans are viewed with no small level of suspicion as a result, especially non-English speaking ones. During Victoria's weeks here in Chicago so far, she has found that only the destitute and those hanging around the Iron Dragon rail line and that kind of shantytown Chinatown have really given her the time of day. And over the last few weeks, she's been performing services as a minor healer for people at the Church of the Traveler under the auspices of Mr. Green, and is packing her things to leave on this trip because she is headed, on a train to Dodge City, Kansas. And not everybody that goes to Bloody Kansas comes back. Victoria, Father Green notices you gathering your things, and hasn't spoken a word to you in the whole time you've been. He doesn't speak any Spanish, but kind of walks up to you and goes, "You leaving?"
Sí. Ya necesitan autoridad.
Adios.
Ah, claro. Adiós. Con Dios, que vaya con Dios.
Yeah, what you said. We're gonna miss you around here.
Yo también. Son los únicos que me ponen atención. Gracias por darme tanto cariño en este tiempo que he estado aquí.
What you said. Now, you ain't
Sí.
gonna go sinning now on me, are you? You've been listening to these sermons. I know you got that savage mentality, but I think I might have put the light into the Lord with you somewhat. Don't go drinking, don't go cussing, not even in that foreign tongue. The Lord speaks that Mexican.
Claro. Ya sabía que... Okay.
And before you go, allow me to lay my blessing upon you, right? And he makes the sign of the cross, and goes to touch you.
Okay, she recognized this as the sign of a cross growing up Catholic, and she lowers her head.
Yeah, you get a +2 to spirit rolls for a week, assuming you do not have a drop of liquor, you do not curse, you do not steal, you do not take the Lord's name in vain, you don't covet any neighbors' wives, right? As long as you follow the Christian tenets for the next week, +2 to all spirit rolls. Because although he is an itinerant preacher, he is in fact blessed. And he does appreciate the services you have provided in the locality. Dr. Richter, your employer, had said that he was going to want to meet you at the train depot this evening to square away some final things. And so upon gathering your possessions, I think, you probably make your way there.
Yep. I gather everything up and I stand lonely by the railroads, and I kind of take note of the scenery and I pick up herbs.
One of the parishioners, right, a old drunk rail hand, right, said, "Well, I'm sorry to see you go. I remember you did for Joseph. He's a good man. And you're a good woman. And that's why I know. Because you know that I know. You know? Yeah, even if you
No.
did speak English, I'm not sure you would have gotten that. No.
Me,
Oh
me voy a esperar allá. I point over and I just start kind of sidestepping away.
Yeah, no, he's totally distracted by the point, and by the time he turns around, you're well on your way. Yeah, no. No, it's fantastic. Which, I believe then would lead us to, Dr. Richter. Oh, but I have a song for this too, don't I? Yes, I do.
Oh man.
Oh man, did I not?
I'm ready.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one, of
Yes.
course.
There
But
it is.
Dr. Richter von Steal, please describe yourself.
All right. So Mr. Richter von Steal is he's about 6 foot tall. He wears a very white velvet, pretty much dirty. I mean, anything's gonna be dirty in the Wild West, right? Top hat, and he kind of has a weird little grin going on all the time with a gold tooth that is right next to his two buck teeth, and he just kind of sits there and paces and wears his very thick lab coat. You know, even in this hot weather, is a little bit weird. He just kind of likes to pace, and then on his back, he's got a kind of a little backpack that has his little gears and just kind of whines and clicks all the time. It's not really loud, but it's noticeable, and the more you pay attention to it, the louder it gets. He has a really odd-looking handlebar mustache, right? That just kind of curls. So for the viewers, kind of, if you think old school, like black and white movies, the guy that's tying people to the railroads, right? That's exactly pretty much how he looks. So he'll kind of sit there and just kind of has this odd smile all the time. His glasses are nice and green, and the little machine that he has in his back occasionally just blows a little bit of green smoke comes out. Um, as far as his personality goes, he's very standoffish. He's I wouldn't say timid, but you could obviously see that there's the gears are always going. So you just kind of sit there and think, but he's a little bit like I said, just a little odd, right? And so he just kind of paces back and forth, looks at his clock, and say, "Where is she? She should be here by now. She said she would be here. I don't know why she's not here. I know she had to gather her things, but it's been quite a bit of time now, right? So I'm assuming he's waiting by the train.
Yes, you are in fact waiting by the train, and it sounds like this. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get train sounds into a fantasy sound player, by the way? I mean, like, I'm not going to pretend like I was up till 4 in the morning last night programming sounds into this sound player. But I may have been up to 4 in the morning last night programming sounds into this sound player.
I could have just gotten you some real live sounds.
Oh, no, I know. We could have just opened your door at any point and been on a train. So, yeah, you are definitely waiting. It's late in the evening, but there are still crowds milling about. There are porters loading luggage onto the train. The Hellstromme Express itself is a Union Blue rail car with some pretty extensive modification. It stands 2 stories tall in the boiler and has an immense bronzed edifice that coats the front of the thing, ornate gilding, all that. Hellstromme Express and the big circus letters running down the side of the thing. Uh, the light from the Ghost Rock boiler grows an eerie green, and some people say that they can hear things, screaming in the smoke itself. Other people, of course, dismiss that as nonsense. But at any rate, you are waiting for Victoria Valadez Roja currently to arrive so that you can perform a task of your own.
Yeah. So while he's just sitting there waiting, he is kind of digging through his pockets, and he kind of has this little circle-looking thing, and it has a little bit of a hook to it. And he just kind of tosses it back and forth and looks to the left and right. Kind of goes over to the train and begins to admire it a little bit, and then he'll look down to his wrists like if he had a watch, and he doesn't have a watch, by the way. He just kind of looks down and looks up, and he's just like, well, I guess now is the best time to do this. I might as well do this now if I'm going to do it, right? So he'll just kind of circle back, and he'll kind of look at the train and marvel at it and say, look at the steel that this thing is built from. It must be fantastic and hardened, and they
Ghost
must use
steel,
amazing
in fact, yes.
ghost steel. Oh, so this thing is amazing. Look at this, and then he'll just kind of bend over and look at the tracks and
Give me a
look
stealth
left
roll.
and right. Oh man, I knew you were gonna want it. Stealth. Oh, no.
Oh yeah,
Sneaky,
yes
sneaky.
sir.
So he kind of looks left and right, and he'll put his hands on it and kind of run it down the edge of it. And as he goes, he'll kind of hook the little thing onto what he's doing. Right, he'll hook the little device onto the actual the wheel assembly and stuff like that, and just continue admiring it with oohs and ahs and running his hands on the train and just this great device. And he'll look left and right again and just kind of step away and go back to pacing in front of the train, looking at his pretend watch, waiting for his hired help.
Excellent. Excellent. Which moves us on to last but not least, Miss Eliza O'Day. Please do me a favor and introduce your character.
All right. So Miss Eliza O'Day is a young woman about 30 years old, slender, curvaceous. She's very beautiful, but in an exotic way. Her skin is super pale, but her hair is raven black. It's a stark contrast, and her eyes are emerald green to the point that they're piercing. They're like pools of emeralds that you can just get lost in.
Supernaturally luminous. All that note that there is something exotically and ineffably appealing about her. All people are attracted to her. Both genders, old ladies. Like there's something that's just really, you can't put your finger on it. Maybe it's in the way she moves, some grace, who knows?
She wears similar Gibson girl type hair style, where it's up and it's higher with a little hat, as any respectable woman would wear.
Right, a fascinator, of course.
A fascinator, of course. And is wearing a corseted bodice with a long skirt that maybe is a little low cut for this day and age, but she has the confidence to wear it as if it's nothing different than anyone else. And
the figure.
And the figure. So while she looks so intoxicating, her personality is equal to match. As it's not just her looks, it's every way that she talks about herself, and gives attention to every single person that she meets to the point where they feel special.
Her voice is birdsong, her movements grace embodied. Everything about her comes off as a complete charismatic package. Even people that, would not normally find themselves intrigued by a person, find themselves intrigued by her. You could say it's in the blood. But, so we find the ravishing Miss Eliza O'Day currently lying down in the back of a wagon, covered in hay, hiding from a patrol of Union soldiers that has been looking for her for the last couple of days. Unfortunately, being an exotic beauty of renown is a double-edged sword when you are also wanted for depending on who you ask, a fairly heinous crime, right? Like, now there are multiple narratives, mind you, but that doesn't change the bounty or the, the posters. or
Yeah.
the very you know, you don't really fit in. You don't really fit in. We just went through the 10 minutes of damn girl, right? And
Yes.
yeah, no. So you can understand how this would be problematic. And you are just outside the fence of the train yard. You've been trying to get out of Chicago for 2 weeks. It's the union that's looking for you. This is a union stronghold, right? Like, you wouldn't even come here had it not been your only option at the time, and it has just been hell. You're used to being able to use your charms, right, and all of that to service a better living than hiding in the back of a wagon under some bales of hay. But this is what you've been reduced to currently. You know that there is a train leaving tomorrow that you don't have a ticket for, but that is pretty much your only shot to get out of here short of a hanging rope. So you've been keeping eyes on the train when you can't help but notice a group of decidedly not, train folk, Union Blue employees, looking very suspicious as they crack open the freight car of the train and start removing some boxes. Right. One of them says, it looks like the property of some Dr. Bailey. Right. The other one says, Hellstromme Industries. There's one that says, do not open under threat of deck, von Richten. Right. And these guys are not really, it's clear that they don't belong to be doing what they are doing. But you're also, kind of trying to, keep it on the DL.
Yeah, I don't want to be too obvious, but I'm gonna find a way that it doesn't look like I just pop out, like pop goes the weasel out of a hay bale. So I'm going to try to mimic that I fell in a damsel in distress type way, and
You're
uh,
gonna be like, oh Lord, this hay is so heavy. Is that what you're
yes,
going for?
yes, 100%.
All right. Let me get a persuasion.
All right.
And remember, because of your edges, you're +2.
Yes.
Just +2. Okay, great. I
Yep.
thought you had charismatic and shit too, but no, great. Great,
No, I had to
+2.
switch now. Okay. Here we go. Come on.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, 3 of the 4 guys drop what they're doing immediately, right, and run over to offer. I mean, good Lord. This here lady's injured, and they toss the hay off, which is obviously, you could have lifted, it's 40-pound hay, come on.
Yeah.
But each one of them's kind of jockeying for position, especially upon catching sight of you, right? Like, they straighten up, one of them, yes, well, my name's Bill Buckley, ma'am, how can I help you? Glad to be of assistance.
She's gonna work up a little blush on her face and be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I fell and I don't know how to work it. But
One of the
I'm
guy
just
goes, how did you fall up into the wagon, though?
I was robbed and he threw me into the wagon. I'm
Robbed?
supposed to be yeah.
Well, I
No
mean,
one saw.
wait a
I
minute,
thought
somebody robbed
someone
you? Here?
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
3 Points gang territory. Shut up, Cletus.
Well, look, I'm supposed to get on the train, but they took my ticket. They wanted to go themselves.
We, I'm not sure we could. We might. I mean, we got the door open. You could just slip aboard. A lady of your refinement, certainly. They probably wouldn't even think to ask you for a ticket. But you'd
Oh
have
my
to hang
goodness.
out in that freight car. I mean, that seems beneath a
Well,
woman of your refinement and grace.
I am humble enough to know that that is the best idea for me. But I will talk to anyone I know about the courageous and chivalrous young men in blue.
What, just remember it was Bill Buckner what did it.
Bill Butner. I can do
Cletus
that.
says, I help too. Bill
And
says, shut up,
Cletus.
Cletus. Yeah, so, I mean, they escort you to the train and are about to get you into the freight car. When Victoria Valadez Roja shows up, Dr. Von Richten stands up from his task tinkering with the wheel, and Joe and JD happen upon the scene. Joe and JD, Dr. Bailey's boxes were stowed when you left earlier, and now these gentlemen appear to have pulled some of them out. That does seem to be part of your, within the purview of your parameters. Von Richten, under threat of death, do not move. What are they doing with your instruments, your delicates? I mean, it's tilted on its side a little even. You have an arrow specifically painted pointing strictly up.
So, Von Richter's just gonna run over there and push onto it and say, "So what are you doing? Don't you know that these things are more expensive than your whole attire? How dare you touch the box? It says threat of death. Don't you see this? Don't you see this? Victoria, come here, Victoria. Look at this box. There's an arrow pointed here and it says stay here. I know you buffoons may not be able to read, but look at the box."
Veo que está un poquito alto. En realidad estás haciendo una escena. ¿Por qué no te calmas un poquito?
And then he'll kind of look at her and say, "Oh, that's right. That's right." And he'll push a little button that he has, and so let's hope I don't blow your head off here.
So, for people not in the know, Dr. Von Richten is demoing, among other devices, his amazing translation caller, right? Which uses Ghost Rock to turn any speech into English and any speech into the native speaker's speech. But if it critically fails upon activation, detonates in a 3-inch, which is 3 square radius, centered directly on the device, which is currently draped around the rather so delicate neck of Miss Victoria Valadez Roja. So let's get this. Hey, look at that! You didn't get decapitated in a fiery explosion.
So he'll
Thank
push
God.
the button.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, boop.
Smoke will kind of start steaming out.
Yeah, smoke steams out, and it's kind of mechanical.
and he'll look to her and he'll say, "Do you see this, Victoria? They moved the box. It says threat of death. I told them not to move it and not to touch it. These things are very sensitive."
I mean, we could just. Whoa.
Yes, you'll get used to that. You'll get used to that. You're worrying about the entirely wrong thing here. The box has been moved.
Oh my. Yeah. Who's in charge of moving the boxes? Maybe you can ask them to help out.
And I'm assuming it's those two people, right?
It should be the porters, but the porters are mysteriously absent and replaced by these gentlemen that don't. I mean, to call them scrupulous and official looking would be something of a misnomer.
So he's blaming them. He's gonna look at him and he's gonna say, "It has to be these two awful porters that are supposed to be taking care of the job and no pride in their work whatsoever."
He says, "You shut up, old man," and flashes the handle of a knife under his vest. "This is 3 points territory. You're getting paying the tax." I don't know why he doesn't sound like Cletus or Bill Buckner anymore. We're gonna have to work on that, but we'll get that shit sorted out.
So,
because he's a criminal now, yeah. All criminals talk like this and snap in unison. Takes 5 years of jazz tap to be a criminal.
I mean, that's how I learned, so you know.
Right.
Oh, man.
But yeah, he said, "You ain't gonna pay this, no, never mind. You got 7 more of them boxes in there. One less ain't gonna be nothing less than you getting stuck."
And then I'll kind of look at him and take a step back and straighten up a little bit. And he'll pull his lab coat over a little bit and show a rapier that's draping there. And he'll look to Victoria and say, with all due respect, I am 23, and old man is quite a stretch to say, don't you think? Just a little bit of a stretch. So I'd be very glad if you and your buffoon friend here would push my box back, and then we wouldn't have a problem. I don't care about your book club
Give me
that you
an
have.
intimidation with a +2.
And I don't have intimidation.
Oh,
I would have known that. I
shit.
think I have a negative too, actually.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. If it's unskilled, it's -2, but the +2 will knock you up to a 4. So you just need to get a perfect roll. You are not very intimidating. I'm sorry. You're a wiry
I'm
dude, like wearing a top hat.
Here we
That's
go.
just.
Here we go. Give me some money, please.
Well, yeah, that plus
No.
2, right?
But it's a -2.
Oh, you already
Yeah.
put the +2 in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of tongue tied while he's saying this.
Yeah. Well, how about this then, boy? You can go take your fancy mall ninja dress sword someplace else while we help ourselves to 2 of your boxes. You hear that, Cletus? Get a second box.
Well, let me ask you something there, son.
Oh, you're walking up now? Yeah, alright, yeah.
First of all, what the hell's a mall? Second of all, if you don't put them other boxes up there, there's going to be more than your blood spilling out here on these tracks.
Ghost Rock accelerated mall development by like 120 years. I want you to know. Yeah, now you give me an intimidate with a +2 because that sounded proper convincing.
And Richter's just gonna kind of nod and look at him and say, "What he said, exactly what he said."
Remove that -2 then, or that +2, but you still got a 4 in that case.
Come on.
And yeah, no, he sees you and Joe walk up and starts to rethink this, and he says, "All right, just the boys' crates then."
Fair enough for me.
All right,
Look at him.
Cletus, put Dr. Bailey's crate back on the train. Cletus had just pulled another crate out and is really starting to get sick of Bill's shit, you know?
And he's gonna look at him and say, "You're already having him put his away. Just help me out. Come on."
I mean, we got to make something, buddy. Sorry.
Am I anywhere near this?
Yeah, I mean, they were escorting you onto the train. Like, you're still standing outside the freight car while all this is going down. Yeah. Everybody is there now.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna look at Cletus. And I'm gonna say, Cletus, I thought you were a gentleman.
Cletus doesn't know how he gave you that impression, but he's happy he did. I ain't never been called a gentleman once in my life.
Well, you
Shut up,
are
Cletus!
You know, Cletus, you are a fine young man, and, you know, this is going down a bad path. A little old lady like me, well, not old, I'm pretty young, but, well, I wouldn't trust a man like that.
Let's get a persuasion roll.
Rock Richter's just sitting there fuming, turning red and stomping, throwing a tantrum like a kid, like.
Ooh.
Nope.
Yikes. Cletus says, "Well, I'll have you know, ma'am, I'm a homosexual."
God. I'm very happy for you. And the fact that you are proud of your, yes. Live proud.
Ghost Rock also accelerated civil rights by about 150 years. So.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Hey,
So
hey, Joe.
progressive.
Joe, you got any more of
Yeah?
that grease? You got any more of that grease left over?
I mean, you got all that grease left over. Y'all haven't even. Yeah.
Oh, never mind
We're
that.
just gonna... We haven't even started yet, partner.
Well, this man in the top hat here looked like he might have some money. Maybe we could talk him out of it for loading these crates back in. What do you think?
Now, what do you mean loading these crates back in? Cletus, stand upright. Cletus stands upright, puffs out his chest. I'm a bear, though.
I can't.
God, yes.
And Richter's gonna look to Victoria and say, "Aren't you supposed to be my muscle here? Aren't you supposed to be making sure that I don't have to deal with ruffians like this?"
I know, $10 whole a day, Victoria.
Okay, Victoria
Bro.
approaches. Is there a possible way we can just disable this? Can we just place his bot correctly? It's his livelihood, and I understand that you guys have a livelihood as well.
I think we could settle for the sum, you know, a meager fee of 20 some odd dollars. That sound good to you, Cletus? Cletus nods. That's 20 American too. We don't take none of that peso.
Of course.
Especially not from some robot talking Mexican. Because you gotta remember your English is coming out something like this. It's not the most
That's it.
flattering and graceful.
I'm gonna work out
Okay.
the kinks.
I'm gonna look at the man. $20. Is that all? Here you go. And I hand him $20.
Well, shit. Alright, let's go get drunk, Cletus. And Cletus nods, and yeah, they walk off, yeah.
Richter's gonna kind of look at her and take a deep bow and say, "Thank you. You didn't need to do that. Come find me on the train, and I'll make sure that I repay your kindness in some kind of way." And it's very, very frustrating when they touch my box. I paint it a certain way, and I put it in a certain pattern, and they want to push it out of the way.
And I don't know how that isn't clear. I mean, to me, it looks like you did every courtesy to warn them about what could happen in that box. I'm Eliza O'Day.
Nice to meet you, Miss O'Day. And I showed her my sword. I showed her the sword, and the sword didn't do anything. And he's just gonna keep mumbling and walk over to the box and pick it up and put it on there, mumbling under his breath. And he said, "But yes, Miss O'Day, just come find me, and we'll."
It should be said that rapiers are not really known for their combat prowess in the old. If you're wearing a rapier, right? It says that you got that idea out of a dime novel, right? I mean, if you had a cavalry sword, right, that would be a whole other deal. But no, it's a rapier with a basket hilt and the whole nine. Yeah, like he's
Fancy.
Zorro or something. Mm-hmm.
Pin cushions don't do shit out here, mister.
And he pushes his box back and just keeps mumbling.
Victoria gives you a bow, Miss O'Day, and says in her robotic voice, "Thank you so much, and we need more good people like you in this world."
Need more good people like you in this world. I just want to keep it in everybody's head. That's all.
I was gonna say, it's what any good person would do. But thank you. What's your name?
Victoria.
Victoria Valadez Roa.
Has it been about 10 minutes?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it wears off mid Victoria Valadez Roja, you know? Like,
Well, it's lovely to meet both of you. I would love to come see what you guys are all about. Their device is very interesting.
Se escucha raro.
I'm gonna give that look of like, like that too long of a stare, like when someone speaks a foreign language and you just sit there with your head cocked and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just like that.
Yeah. Are you gonna, you're not gonna speak slower English?
Not yet.
No, not yet. No, the night is young.
The night is
All right.
young.
So, we have convened so far at the train yard. Everybody's met one another. Still need to find how you're gonna get on that train, Miss O'Day.
I'm going to approach the doctor. And
she's
I'm
kind
gonna
of climbing on. as he's climbing on. He's just gonna be like, "Come on, you're coming on, aren't you? Yes."
Yes, actually, yes.
Oh,
Here,
do you think
know,
she's meant to be on the train? So you're just holding the door open for fantastic. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
There we
just
go.
like
There
coming,
you
right?
go.
Just-
Laser tight security on the Hellstromme Express. Just
So,
Victoria puts her hand on the small of your back and just leads you in comfortably.
Joe and JD, I believe that you have a task to attempt. There are
Indeed.
the conductor and
I'm
the
facing
coalman
pigs.
are on the front of the train currently, where you need to apply the lubricant, and there will need to be some kind of distraction. I'm afraid a simple stealth roll will not be sufficient.
Well, too
They
bad
would
Von Richter
definitely-
got on a train.
Right? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you want a distraction, just, hey,
Yeah.
show him your sword, in horn. I can already feel
Distraction,
catchphrases coming out of this. Show him your sword. Shut up, Cletus. We got a couple already. Yeah.
So, the doctor expects us to grease this thing with. Do those guys not know what we're supposed to do this?
It didn't seem like it was much on the up and up, if you know what I'm saying. You got anything that can distract them two idiots up front?
I mean, I could probably lasso. Make a lasso dance or something, but
You're gonna try and do rope tricks in like the
Yeah,
Chicago train station to distract. Hey, conductor, look at the circle. Like,
woo! I can make just spinning it around me. Yeah.
oh my god.
I don't know. I don't.
yeah.
I'm a
What?
magician. The clown, circus clown. That shit.
Let's see what Joe's skill
What I
set
mean,
is here. Man, rope tricks to distract the. Hey, conductor, look over here. Just, fuck, I don't even know what that would be.
I think it's athletics.
Yeah, I mean that makes the most sense out of all the stuff. It's not like there's
Yeah,
rope
that's
tricks
what I
the
was
skill.
thinking.
So yeah, but to distract them though, I mean you're just gonna be twirling a rope. These guys are like in their tasks. Train's leaving noon tomorrow.
Yeah,
You would have to spin
maybe-
that rope for a minute to catch. You know, like it's gonna need something with a little more.
Yeah.
No more pizzazz.
Oh, performance is a good call
I
too.
mean,
I don't think anybody has any performance though.
I was this close.
Yeah.
Take a look at my adventure card, Will.
Oh shit.
Tell me if
Hold
that'll
up
work
here.
or not.
Adventure cards, they ruin everything. Which one?
The only one that I can actually use. Turncoat.
Oh, I mean you can take another. Oh, because there's no discard pile. That's right. Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. In fact, JD, if you want to spend that card, you can just say, "Don't worry, I already took care of it," and spit. And you know the coal guy will walk up to you. You'll do a handshake, and he'll reach out for the jar.
I don't know how to actually play it, to be honest with you.
Oh, just drag it into the chat. Yep. So, yeah, he bribed the coal car gentleman to, you know, take the jar from y'all. Now, do you guys warn him that he should wear gloves? No? No?
That ain't my style.
Joe forgot about it.
So he
Yeah,
wanders
yeah,
up front
it's
and, you know, scoops out the substance and slathers it on the pistons. He doesn't even have to hide because he's, you know, he'd be doing train maintenance himself anyway, right? So it'd pay him no never mind. But he is a little miffed at the fact that his fingers start tingling and his hands start burning right? And then they become dead. He can't feel anything from the elbow down in either hand when he comes back up to you, and he says, "All right, so what the fuck is this?"
I don't know. Them boys you got
I mean,
unloading the
seriously,
car. Clean
$2,
it.
$2. How long does this last? What is this nonsense?
Probably only like an hour. Don't worry about it.
Probably only
Yeah,
like. Do you know how much
it'll
stuff
wear
I have to
off,
do tonight?
yeah.
Do you have any idea how much stuff I mean, this is ludicrous. I'm gonna need at least another $1.
All right then, boy. You drive a hard bargain. I'll throw another $1 your way.
And he goes to grab the dollar coin. It falls to the ground. It takes him way too long without assistance to get the thing up with his dead hands, right? And he holds it in between his hands like this and kind of scowls at you and says, "I'll remember this." Goes back to the coal car.
Yeah, I'll remember that $1 too.
Could have just said, "Hey, buddy, gloves." You know, I mean, he had gloves sticking out his back pocket. You know, nah.
Who doesn't wear gloves when touching weird
and
grease?
Yeah.
How thankful are you guys right now that you asked about gloves? You know what I'm saying? Because that could have been it's
Yeah.
24 hours out of character, by the way. 24 hours.
Oh,
Oh.
my bad. Maybe we should have said something about gloves.
I mean, just floppy.
I forgot, mister.
It's literally like the cartoon where the kid's just flapping his arms back and forth. It's like one of those like car
Right.
salesman things.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, he's got no muscle control for the next day, which will make it really easy to scoop that ghost rock into the live boiler in the front of, so that's good. It's good that that's his job.
Yeah.
Just dealing with magical explosive rock. That's easy. Easy peasy, no risk. Certainly
We should be
nobody put
fine.
the Hellstromme Express at risk by doing this, so that's good. That's good. But yeah, so your guys' tasks are situated. All of y'all are currently on the Hellstromme Express. Again, you don't have to seek lodging here for the evening. You can go back to the establishment a couple of blocks away. I imagine Miss O'Day is just going to find herself a spot to sit down and catnap at this point. Like, mission accomplished, keep your head
Yep.
down.
Yep.
What is everybody else up to? You are in Chicago, and it is a big city, but there is gambling and gals and drinking, and you two, I forgot to mention, got a $20 down payment on your $100 too, so you are sitting on some of that spending cash. And it should be mentioned that the supply depot that is attached to the saloon sells everything, including things out of the Smith and Robards catalog, which will be the last time you're in a spot of civilization capable of, selling those things for quite a spell. But
I got $24, so I don't know
well,
how much I'm gonna
yeah,
be buying.
no, I believe Smith and Robards is just a slice above the $24 level.
Yeah.
We're halfway through the program, so we are going to take a break. I don't have a be right back screen yet because I've only been working on this show for 4 weeks now, so you figure at some point there would be something like that. But please stick around. We're going to be gone 5-7 minutes. Get some water, take a bio break. If you're enjoying the show, please follow, subscribe. This shit is happening every week, along with Starfinder on Sundays. We got Curse of Strahd on Tuesdays. I see that 6 of you have already followed during the course of this show, which is tremendous. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. You'll see a black screen, but ignore that. I swear we're still here. Excellent. Fantastic, guys. And we're back. Look at that. Second half coming at you guys. Deadlands. One of our most viewed productions so far. You guys are all fantastic for being here. And the show is only going to get better as time progresses. But you folks have managed to make it on the train. What are you guys doing? Are we just going to go to bed? Gambling? Oh,
Texas
shit.
Hold'em. We need some money.
So,
Well, the Hellstromme Express is equipped with a lounge car. And in that lounge car, there are several poker tables, one of which has a robot vendor that appears to be clockwork
What?
entirely. It is the Hellstrom Express. It has all of the modern conveniences. And that's right, Cletus. They are back. Yeah, you guys find yourself in the... I know, that's great, isn't it? It's already started.
Yeah, I love it.
Perfect.
It has already started. Let's get...
You said that's on the train. It's attached to the actual train.
Oh, yeah. It looks just like
Ooh.
this, in fact. That is the lounge car there. Let's or incentralated. There we go. Yeah. So, my God, you're giants. No, you're not.
We're humongous.
Guys. And yeah, you guys find yourselves using your tokens on the lounge car. Everybody that would like can take a seat at the poker table.
I definitely would like.
All right. Victoria Valadez Roja, you have an hour of Santeria rituals that you need to perform this evening to be able to cast spells tomorrow. This might be the point at which you asked Von Richten which car was the sleeper car and which room was yours specifically, and went there and started, getting blood out of chickens and touching skulls or whatever it is that you do.
Oh man, I do a lot of things. Yeah, that is. I was gonna ask you, like, I could either be protecting Vaughn here, or I'm actually just praying at this point.
Yeah, he's probably safe in this environment.
And he wouldn't want her to watch him squander away the rest of his money.
Right. Oh, we're playing for money, in fact. Well, maybe Von Richten will be able to earn her salary after all.
Oh,
That's
You
why
don't
we're
know
that's
that.
how it is. Okay, well,
You don't know
Oh.
that.
Yeah, that's out of character information.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It's time to go to bed. It's okay. I'll be okay.
Okay,
So-
si usted dice.
Is it
Está bien.
Joe, Elijah, JD, and Von Richten then at the poker table?
I will be as
Oh.
well.
Joe is not. She's kind of sitting.
Joe is not.
She's gonna sit directly behind the other two that are playing and just watch their cards.
All
Like
right.
the people. Yeah.
So the robot dealer goes click, clack, click, clack, clack. Select game.
Texas Hold'em.
Clack, 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 click, clack, clack, click. Texas Hold'em activated. All right, and definitely reaches out a mechanical arm and spits out cards to each of you.
I don't think Eliza's playing.
Eliza's
Right.
playing. No,
Okay.
Eliza's playing.
Well, get over here at the table.
And I
What are you
am.
doing?
I'm right there.
Oh,
He'll kinda
my
look
map
to
you're not
Jeremiah.
updated.
He'll look to Jeremiah and he'll say, "Well, at the very least, let me thank you for the instance earlier. I know it was an inconvenience to you, but I appreciate what seemed like your attempt
Oh,
to
shit.
help."
Hey,
That's not what I meant.
no problem, sir.
All right, so I guess you guys would probably ante up at $1.
Started over.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Now, are we playing actual small blind, big blind? I mean, Was
Hey, you're the
Texas
dealer.
Hold'em even invented at this point? My God.
I sure hope so.
I don't know how to play.
Oh, you don't know how to play Texas? Well, this is gonna be rough for you,
There's
son.
There's
This is.
He's gonna lay down 3 cards, right? And then we're gonna bet.
yep.
And then he's
And
gonna lay down
then
another
that's it.
card, and we're gonna bet. And at any point you can call, and you just got to keep betting until all the 5 cards are out there, and whoever has the best hand wins.
All right, so I have a new note here called bets that is public and should be editable by everybody in the notes section on the side. I wonder if I can just straight up.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Excellent. So we have Eliza. We have JD. We have Von Richter. Alright, so I'm just going to have each one of you Annie $1. We're not going to do a small blind, big blind, because the robot's the dealer, and that changes dependent on dealer. So, everybody...
So the robot's the dealer?
Robot's the dealer,
What
Are
does
there
that
any
mean?
Oh, what does that mean for your cheating?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's take a gander here, because there's specifically rules related to this here robot dealer. Which is just the best, man. I fucking love this game.
My plan is not to cheat on the first hand.
Right, well that would be uncouth, wouldn't it? Let me see. Robot dealer. Robot dealer. Robot dealer.
Also, there's no NPCs playing.
Right. Well, that's
Okay.
that. No.
Alright.
I think the bets are set to read only. I can't update it.
Oh, I've got a plan.
You are they? How would I? It's unlocked. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess I will be keeping tracks as bets as dealer too.
Alright.
All right. So y'all got $1 in on the Annie. All right. So.
Can I? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Can I use my adventure card?
At any point, dude. At any point.
I want you to read it because it's a little unconventional, but it's fucking hilarious.
It's a little unconventional. The thing about adventure cards and how they fuck up my whole process as a DM is that they are literally always.
I don't think you're ready for this.
Nah, man. It's just a robot. I'm sorry. It can't fall in love with you. I mean.
I mean, not
What?
with that
But
attitude.
if you want to play the card, it'll go click, clack, click. What is love? You'll make it like contemplate like the nature of its existence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so
I'm doing it.
chat, allow me to assure you, it's a soulless automaton. It doesn't have higher thinking. It literally, what is my function to play blackjack? You know, like, oh no, like that's it. That's the whole. You know, it doesn't have any existential crises.
It's a Steamwork robot.
It's like the
Steamworks. You're a Steamwork.
It's like the Turkish chessman, if you guys are familiar with the automaton from the 1700s.
Yes.
Except for instead of a little person playing chess beneath it, it's actually clockwork. So, all right. So we have the ante established. Here come these three. So you're trying to make the best hand you can out of those cards so far, right? Determining, the value of your hand. Now the three of you are wagering against each other here. We're just going to start with Eliza, and we're going to go clockwise around there since she's at the head of the table. Eliza, what would you like to bet given the hand that you have currently?
I'm just gonna bet 25 cents.
25 cents up to 125. So in order to stay in the game, you have to either meet her 25 cents, Von Richter, or you have to raise her. So everybody that wants to keep playing has to throw in a quarter. Or you can say, you know what, my hand's better than that, I put in $1 or whatever, and then if she wants to keep playing, she has to meet you. And remember, there are 2 more cards that are going to show up with which could complete your hand.
Oh,
Mhm.
man. Okay, yeah, so Richter will kind of look at the cards and he'll toss in a quarter as well.
Alright, Von Richter. Up to $1.25, but it was JD next anyway. But JD, what you doing?
Yeah, I just did it in the chat window. But yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Shit. Alright, so everybody has called, so they get to keep riding the ride. Not to all hands. What? No. There it is. Boom. Eliza, we'll start with you again. Now you can stay. You can, raise. You can fold.
I'm gonna stay.
Stay. She taps.
Yeah, I'll call.
Call. Alright, Von Richter.
Motherfucker.
Or I guess stay.
Yeah. I was picking up what you were putting down.
He'll stay. He'll tap on the table as well.
Alright. Last card. And since bets are established, revealing all hands. Womp. Von Richter takes it 2 pair.
Yep.
Congratulations, Von Richter. You have won yourself $250 on top of your 125 ante.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I just have tavern sounds. They don't really. There aren't that many people here. Let's turn down the bright rowdiness. We'll keep the manly men though, cause.
He'll kind of just gather up the money and he'll tip his hat. And he'll say, to be honest with you, this is the first time that I've played this game here. I'm more blackjack type, to be honest with you. It's
Click, clack, click. Beginner's luck.
Say, robots, what is love, robots?
Click, clack, click. Beating the house.
Every
You guys
time.
going again?
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
One more in. All right. Half the betting table's off. Oh, sure enough it is. Thanks, man. There isn't a lot of, I mean, you can't see the hands till the end anyway. I guess, because that would make it visible to anybody. And that removes the betting aspect of it, I'm afraid. But, yeah. At any rate, we will, dealing up. Thank you for the tip, though. All right, Annie up. Dollar all around.
Yep, throwing a dollar.
All right, bets starting with Eliza.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do 25 cents again.
Roger that. Up to $1.25, playing conservatively.
I'll meet it.
$1.25 on Richten.
He'll meet it.
All right, and here we go. I know this robot playing some jammin' vintage tunes out of its check squawk box. Hurry up and bet.
Eliza,
Who's going first?
You are.
Okay, I'm gonna do 50 cents.
50 cents, bringing it up to $1.75.
Oh man.
Big spender.
I'll meet it.
JD just disappeared. No, JD, we need you. $1.75.
Meeting it.
Meeting it, $1.75. And here comes the flop. Wow. Miss O'Day.
I'm gonna stay.
Same.
Gonna stay. Stay. Von Richten, stay.
Same. Yep.
And the river. Oh, Jesus. Ignore that third card.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can I remove that last card? Probably not, because I'm stupid. The buttons
Yeah,
are right
so-
next to each other.
The two on the left are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. We ready?
Yep.
Let's see. Blow. 3 of a kind. Oh, flush from Von. Oh, but it takes
Oh
the
no.
9 to do it. So he's got what?
Damn.
3 of a
He's got
kind. 3 of a kind. 3 sevens
his-
versus 3 sevens.
King high.
Shit. Yeah, king high. So Von Richten takes it again. This
much do I
time,
got?
250.
Oh man.
Wait, no.
Have enough?
175, 350. My God.
Cleaning house.
All right. Boom. And with that, well, you know, the hour is growing late, and we are not utilizing all of our teammates, so we will end poker for now. But Von Richten cleaned up. He cleaned up. He's the one to watch, apparently. If at any point you wanted to cheat during that, by the way, Eliza, the robot automaton has a notice of D8 that you would have to compete against with your gambling.
Okay. We'll see.
Just for, you know, you got 5 days of train ride ahead of you, so, you know, thank you for playing.
Yeah, fuck you, robot.
Yeah, that's about right, though. Yeah.
Richter will tip his hat and just say, "Thank you for playing. You have no idea how far this will stretch."
Yeah, you won't get killed by a Mexican.
This
And
one
they're
is
gonna
cheating.
look
You can literally cheat in this, JoJo. Yeah, there are rules for it, which are amazing. And she's
Yes.
quite the gambler, so at any point she could probably succeed at ripping off anybody at the table. But you
Yep.
know, she's still trying to make friends. You know,
Friends are important.
nobody knows in this party yet that she's the only one here that isn't supposed to be on the train. So she's just kind of like, hey, if I act natural, right? Like,
Yeah, act like I belong here. That's
mhm,
how it works.
mhm.
Fake it
Are
till
we
you make it.
slumbering then?
Yep.
And with that, the evening comes to a close. You have successfully performed your rituals, Victoria, and you all
Aye.
wake up in the AM to quite the commotion outside, where the platform was full before. It is now absolutely bustling. Covered with all manner of porters and gawkers and reporters, specifically. They don't seem to pay you any mind, but the second they see Von Richter, they flood around him. And one of them says, Tombstone Press, sir, can you tell us your name?
Oh yes. The name is Richter von Steal. What else do you want to know?
What are you demonstrating for the symposium?
I will be demonstrating quite a device. Yes. Let me. And he'll kind of look around and see if he can find Victoria anywhere.
Give me a notice. Lots of people running around.
All right. Here we go. Nope.
No. Yeah, no, just too many people. She's, you know, Mexican-sized.
Excuse you.
I'm just, you know, like the, you know, there's a height disparity that's typically you know. I've never seen a 6.5 foot tall Mexican. I've never seen a 6.5 foot tall Mexican. That's all I'm saying. Mexican
I'm
size,
actually
you know, like,
6'1".
Fiesta size?
I'm actually 5'10".
Oh, shit.
High
Never
five.
mind, guys. I'm holding up some stereotypes here.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyways.
No, so towering over the crowd, you know, you expected her to be shorter. And then, you know, you were like, where is that giant sombrero? I don't know. Because that's not racist. She is factually wearing a sombrero, so I didn't make that up. At least in her character art she is, my god. But he asked for it. He asked to be wearing a sombrero, I swear. Please watch the show. But yeah, so you cannot locate her to demonstrate this fantastical device.
Let's say my hired help isn't around at the moment, but I'm gonna be demonstrating the Von Steal speech translating necklace. What it does is you put it on your neck and you push a button and the smoke comes out. And I'm working out the kinks. It still sounds a little robotic, if you will, but pretty much it lets you talk to our neighbors from the north, our neighbors from the south, and then everyone in between. What it does is it changes the language.
So it's not a super weapon?
I have another device, but I'm more interested in bringing people together at the moment.
All right, Cletus, let's move on.
wait. You just kind of go crazy.
Cletus?
Well, you know. No, it's cameraman Jeffrey, you know. He's like, yeah, that's all well and good, translator. Talk to the Mexicans, fantastic. Bring peace to the world.
He's just gonna kind of chase after them.
All right, so, I mean, this platform is a riot of baggage porters, heaps of crates, and repeated camera flashes. The inventors that will be joining you on your trip to the symposium are turned out with their best bibs and tuckers, most of them shooting their mouths off to the reporters from the Tombstone Epitaph, Chicago Tribune. Picking through the crowd, you note a proper English gentleman in a bowler and waistcoat, escorted by a trio I can read and talk, of watchful Chinese men. The Chinese men are wearing kung fu garb, traditional martial arts robes. Not kung fu, obviously, because that's Japanese. I swear I'm not racist. You know, they're wearing martial arts clothes, Shaolin garb, which isn't atypical, honestly. There's a huge cultural divide. It should be said that the Chinese currently own pretty much all of California, have established their own sovereign nation there. Very distinct cultures. In addition to him, there is a man absolutely surrounded by reporters that are noting his every word and gesture. And he is robust with a broad grin on, wearing like a swarthy beard, chest puffed out, you know, wearing a pith helmet and khakis. And these people are just like fawning over him, right? There's gals fanning a little too hard when he talks, right? And you swear to God that like the light catches his teeth and just kind of like ting, you know, as he speaks, kind of with this just effortless authority, right? There is a matronly woman with frizzy red hair and an Irish brogue, demonstrating some kind of outlandish buzzing headgear that sits about her head like some kind of surgical edifice with all these lights and dials. Its purpose completely indiscernible in the din. There is a mild-faced gentleman in a red plaid suit who is attempting to avoid the brace of reporters, saying, no questions, no questions. And you think he has a large, man-at-arms or some such. But as he gets closer to you, it's clear that it is actually a slim clockwork automaton, clanking clumsily along, wearing human clothes, so as to, you know, make it seem more man-like. This is quite the spectacle. Not many people are constructing automatons with this level of intricacy, and it's a noteworthy thing to see. There are 3 Union Blue repairmen making last-minute adjustments to the locomotive, one of them giving commands to the other 2 before they all board the train. And then Elijah Bailey, the kindly old black gentleman that has employed JD and Joe, approaches and says, "Oh, very good, very good." Parting with a group of reporters to greet you 2. I trust your evening was pleasant, and you squared everything away without incident.
Got it all taken care of, mister.
Excellent, excellent. He turns and smiles at the precise moment that a camera flashes at him and then turns back to you. Well, we should get on board then, shouldn't we? Yes. We've quite a journey.
Indeed.
Sounds good. Though I am wondering what my gun, my rifle.
Oh,
Where
yes, yes,
do I
yes.
pick that up?
Customs will be delivering to you once the train is almost away. Yes, all your possessions shall be
Delivering it.
returned to you. Yes,
Alright.
yes. No, you aboard the
Okay.
Hellstromme Express now, my lady. It's a top-notch, world-class service in every regard.
Alright. Well, there you have it.
Excellent, excellent. And with that, I believe we should be away. Everybody, Victoria, what are you doing currently? Did you leave the train, or are you just hanging out going like, Jesus Christ, as they swarm Vaughn? Did you intentionally duck him?
You know what? At this point, maybe.
I got your money, I swear.
Yeah, it's a good thing that
He
device
doesn't
only works
know
for 10 minutes at a
that.
time, you know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of people, and they don't understand her, and she's just trying to kind of blend in so people don't notice her.
Yeah. The conductor gives you a strange look for being alone on a train, but there's a lot of strange people that are going to be on this train, so he doesn't ask you for a ticket. But with that, you hear the
Final call. All aboard.
the Hellstromme Express. He forgot to finish that sentence there for whatever reason there. We sorted that one out for him though, didn't we? Yes, sir.
Mhm.
So, the train itself, known to just about everybody as the Hellstromme Express, consists of a Wasatch Rail manufactured locomotive, as I said earlier, and Ghost Rock tender car, followed by 2 passenger cars, a dining car, a lounge car, 2 sleeper cars, a freight car, and a caboose. You all are told by the conductor as you start away that you are free to travel throughout any of the cars with the exception of the freight car and the engine itself. Those are off limits to rail personnel only. The engine for obvious reasons, proprietary technology of the Wasatch Rail line. Nobody needs to be up there anyway. And the freight car, because it contains all of the precious and quite dangerous inventions of the assorted throng of scientists, and nobody should be going in there unsupervised. So both of those are prohibited. Rest of the train is available. Let's see what else here. In addition to the scientists, which number about 9 on the competition with you, there are some regular folks on this train. Lord help them. That's rough. There is the Hovey family, just headed west in search of wealth and happiness. Definitely wary and apprehensive of the mechanical car dealer and all these people wandering around with new science tech. They ain't from around these here parts, and they don't much cotton to, blasphemy. Speaking of blasphemy, in addition, there is Father Jubel Croy. He's a priest who rides the Wasatch Rail every year in an attempt to dissuade people from the evils of new science. Right? It's a defiance of God's will. He's creating infernal machines. Right? They are possessed by the devil. Repent, repent, repent. That's pretty much his shtick. And then there is a final non-scientist passenger who introduces himself, albeit unwillingly, as Mr. Bogan. And he says he's just here to gamble. Just here to gamble. But, yes.
Godspeed.
I was gonna ask which man looks like he's unaccompanied by a woman, and who looks wealthy.
Father Jubel Croy is unaccompanied by a woman, but I'm afraid the only sources of wealth on this here train are the scientist-looking folk themselves. Or
Okay.
perhaps the Hellstromme rep, who you guys only know as the Hellstromme rep because he wanders around with a clipboard and people whisper about him when he leaves the room. He doesn't say anything. The most he's ever done is kind of give a and note things down in his log. He has certainly tallied everybody in attendance, yes.
Okay. Gonna watch him.
That would
Rick-
probably make sense, yes.
Rick's gonna sit down next to Victoria and just, can you believe he had no interest in my translation? It's just an amazing thing, and he cares nothing about weapons, only about weapons. And what kind of ridiculous thing is it? And then he'll look at her and say, "Oh yes, here's your pay for the day." And he'll give her the $10. Say,
Wait,
make
you
sure
pay-
to keep my boxes straight this time.
You-
Yes.
You pay her $10 a day?
I don't want to talk about it.
Jeez.
Well,
Muchas gracias. Claro que sí.
Claro que
Entiendo
no.
que mi trabajo sí va a ser claro. Y muchas disculpas. Yo entiendo que tú eres muy apasionado por tu trabajo.
What she
Yeah,
said.
Pasionado, yeah.
So, it does not take long for the train to lurch forward and begin to chug steadily, slowly at first, but gaining speed. And inside of an hour, you guys find yourself whipping across the flat landscape of wheat, corn, and wheat, and more wheat outside of Chicago proper. I don't know if you guys have seen Chicago, but it is a city that rises out of nothing, right? There's fields, fields, fields. Holy shit, Chicago, right? Very similar now, except for all the buildings are 1 story tall. But yes, the train is heading along, and I need these guys up. The man in the pith helmet takes a seat next to Eliza O'Day and says, "I don't believe we've been introduced. Patton Riddle. The Patton Riddle."
wow, it is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Eliza O'Day, and I stick my hand out
Oh,
like a
enchanté,
good
he says. And,
southern
yeah,
woman.
kisses the hand, maybe lingering just a half second too long. Not quite creeper, but just real self-assured. You
I'm
know,
used to it.
they call me the Great White Hunter.
Wow, you're gonna have to tell me how you got that title. That is
Well,
quite amazing.
that was from my second safari in deepest, darkest Africa, where I single-handedly killed a lion with the butt of my rifle to save a village of pygmies.
Well, that is so kind of you. That's so selfless to save them.
Well, I'm a selfless kind of guy. I'm one of the most humble people you'll ever meet.
Well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. What?
So,
So why are you on the train?
why, ma'am? I'm a world-famous inventor, of course.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot.
It's fine. I have so many laurels and accolades that it's easy to forget one of the minor ones.
Well, I'm not really from around here, but I'm just excited to see what this area has in store. I've only heard stories about the Hellstromme Express.
And so, what are you demonstrating at the symposium? Aside from your ravishing good looks, ha?
And she like gives a look down, like very coy, and she says, "Well, I'm not displaying anything myself, but I am helping Dr. Richter a little."
Oh, I see. Excellent. He's the fellow with the voice-a-majig, right? That makes you talk
Yes.
different. Yeah. Yeah, he's not gonna win. Ha ha! No, they're more interested in, devious science. Yeah. He adjusts
what
his pith
kind?
helmet a little. Well, ma'am,
Well,
I wouldn't want to dizzy you with talk of it, but rocket science. My patent riddle exploding munitions, in fact, airburst. It's a glorious device that I'm sure we'll have time to demonstrate at some point on the trip.
oh, that would be wonderful. I am so, so, so excited to see all of these inventions. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe I got here, little old me.
He is a Chad, chat. I hate the term, but yes, no, he is. He's
Yes.
all alpha. swaggering, self-confident. Yeah, no. He's 100%.
I'll humor him, though.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that we can get better acquainted later. Maybe I'll see you in the dining car this evening. Ha!
Well, I think that would be love.
Yes, and it would be lovely for me as well. Well, Miss O'Day, was it?
Yes.
It's the patent riddle goodbye. And tips his
I
hat.
just give a,
Yeah.
I put my hand in front, like very, like, oh my goodness.
Right. Yeah. And he falls. I mean, he's used to it, you know. All right. Von Richten. Sitting next to you is a short, very round English gentleman that introduces himself as Sir Clyde Reed Cannon.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. My name
Ah,
is,
the pleasure is mine. This is only my second year on the tour, but I hadn't seen you before. What is your name, lad?
I go by Richter von Steal. Von Steal, yes.
Von Steal. Good name, strong name. Not quite Cannon, but close.
I do have to appreciate your name as well. Cannon is strong like a bull, sir. Strong like a bull, yes indeed.
Yes, strong like a bull and strong like the gun worthy of my name. He pulls a large device from his back that, I mean, is like the size of his torso. It appears to have a giant metal hopper on the top of it and many, many barrels. Yes.
And he'll look at that and say, "Oh, that is quite impressive indeed. I personally myself, I care more for if you say less boom and more accurate, if you will." And he'll kind of pull his
Ah!
In
In that case, I think you would love my custom gyro stabilizer. Not giving you a moment to talk about your invention. He pulls out a pistol and he says, "Look at this. This is a miracle of modern science." And he spins it and he says, "Look at how perfectly it's pointed at you." Pointing it right at your face with his, booger hook on the trigger. Like,
Victoria stands up. She's panicked.
And then he'll kind of laugh, and he'll laugh nervously, and he'll flick a button on his little backpack, and this little steam shield will appear around him, and it says, "That is quite interesting indeed. But look at mine," and he'll point the rapier, and he'll show him how it's tied and has a little hose that runs to his backpack, and say, "This thing can shoot almost 36 yards. It's amazing. And I can shoot it 3 times, and it blows holes through trees." And
that's fantastic!
I'm pretty sure it trains. I'm pretty sure it trains.
It's almost as good as my expanding cube. And he pushes a button on his belt, and a force field pops up around him square, and he goes,
This is literally a dick measuring contest.
And he'll kind of he'll kind of just chuckle, and he'll give him a chest bump with his
and he just bounce into the energy shield, and he goes, "Bloop. Yes, it is fantastic, isn't it? Wonderful."
Listen, I think I quite like you, sir. You, Mr. Cannon, yes?
Mr. Cannon. Yes, but between you and me, I'm not sure you're adequately prepared, muscle-wise for the competition.
It's not always about muscle, sir.
You'll notice my trio of martial artists, and the 3 Chinese guys that aren't paying attention kind of go,
And it'll say, "Oh, muscle-wise, whatever do you mean?"
Well, are you not aware of the nature of this competition?
I believe there's a misunderstanding. I thought we were showing our inventions, and that would be that, yes? I know we're going to bloody Kansas and all, but
that's hilarious, Umachiya.
We show our inventions, and then the best.
My dear boy, the competition began the very second you got aboard the train.
What? Please explain. Yes, and he'll lay down his shield.
Why, yeah. I mean, there is. Did you not know? No, this is a competition to be won by any means necessary, boy. Any means at all.
So it's quite competitive. I understand the competitiveness. What
Yes, boy. Any means necessary. I do not believe you are going to be well. And not to say
Yeah.
anything about your Wayne Lass, but... I mean, have you seen some of the devices there? Have you seen Riddle's rockets, for the love of God, man?
Oh, rockets? What? On the train? Are we gonna be fighting to the death on the train? You make it sound like it's a fight to the death on the train.
Not so directly, but surely you're aware that every year an accident befalls a contestant or two. Certainly. You wouldn't have gone into this all willy-nilly unprepared.
I believe that we had quite different understandings, but accidents? Like somebody falls off the side of the truck, the freight car? Is that what you mean? Or are we
Like
talking about
somebody
murder?
gets cut in half. Or somebody gets dissolved into a puddle of viscous goo.
And he'll kind of stand up and look at everybody in there and click his shield back on and say, well, I appreciate the warning, and he'll go over to Victoria. and
That's
he'll
probably
say,
a good idea, but if I were you, I might hire a Chinese. And he pushes the button and goes, and turns around and walks away. I love these scientists so much.
and he's gonna go to Victoria and just be like, "We're in trouble."
yeah, no,
No me
there might
dices.
be more than you reckoned for here. Oh, come on, that's not what I'm clicking. I am clicking. There she is. All right. So, the red-headed gal with the Irish brogue peeks up and say, "Oh, don't be worried about him. He's a pussy." Yeah, he's an English, isn't he? Yeah, concerned about everything. Concerned about the wind and the fart. So I say, you said your device there, God damn it, I lost my, it was an Irish brogue. It was, I swear. For just a moment I had it. So you say you're demonstrating a translation device.
And she's just gonna look over and see him speaking Spanish to the girl. And he'll look over and flip the switch again and say, "Yes, that was it in action there. And it allows you to speak almost any language and speak to anyone. I use her mainly for tracking. It's a little buggy. It kind of sounds like a robot, if you will, like the robot that was playing in the gambling carts. Yes, but it works quite well. And I have a few other things, but those are more personal and I hold dearly to my heart that I don't want to share and have others know about."
Aye, that's probably wise around this lot.
So what are you doing here yourself, if you don't mind me asking? I've met, and he'll point to Jeremiah, and he'll point to Joe, and he'll point to pretty much everybody that he knows. I've met all of them, and they seem like nice folk that aren't murderous, except for maybe
Well.
Jeremiah there. But
I've got a couple of devices, don't I? First off, I suppose that, most impressively, I lose it all the time. Irish. So she actually just talks like this. There you go. She says, well, there's the biovibration helmet that can attune to a body for maximum health. I don't know what happened to it. And mend its wounds. And also there's the Irenias? Yeah, it's Irenias again.
I see you have a translation device as well, except yours changes your dialect.
That's right. So, yeah, a lot of Galloways is just gonna talk like this. I have my biovibration helmets. It can attune a body to maximum health and, thus mend its wounds. In addition to that I got a reverse polarity field belt that provides protection against all sorts of hostile environments. You want to go hang out in the smog and deserts, well, you put on this belt, bingo bango, right? Safe as the day is long.
That's quite impressive. Yes. I just can't get over your fantastic contraptions and what you are able to do.
Yeah, I know. I'm a pretty impressive broad. So, you guys are keeping an eye out on the rocks, right?
The rocks?
The rocks is, yeah. You know they're out to get you. The rocks that were driving past on the friggin' train. Those rocks.
They're out to get us.
Yeah.
Like they're alive?
Wait, is this news to you?
I feel like I was very ill-informed to come on this bus here. I was told one thing, they told me it was a symposium, we were gonna show war things, so I hired this Mexican girl here, I gave her the voice translator, and now I'm being told I'm gonna get killed, and now I'm being told that the rocks
Are you trying to
alive?
say right now that you don't understand the evil motivations of the natural world's inanimate objects right now? Are you trying to tell me that you can't feel the evil that is generated by every non-living inanimate thing?
I don't believe so.
Why do you think I developed this reverse polarity field belt? Because it slimmed my figure? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It gives me a svelte waist. But in addition, it's to protect me. It's to protect me from the rocks.
Por favor, para de vergonzarte.
And,
I'm just saying, keep your eye on the silverware at dinner.
I appreciate the notion. And he's gonna look to Victoria, kind of scolding him, and said, I think it's quite enough socializing. No, I thank you for your time. And he's gonna.
You might not be thinking that the Forks have anything against you personally, but let me educate you on that point. I'm telling you, you'll regret it. Mock me now. Mock me now. But when you're lying dead, covered in rocks and forks, old Lotties knew what happened to yous. And don't worry, I'll use my bio-vibration helmets. We'll get your puts backs together. In fact, you know what? Don't believe me about the inanimate objects. It'll just give me another chance to demonstrate how effectively my device goes.
Listen, no. I believe everything you're saying. I take no one for granted, and I thank you so much for the information. I really do thank you so much. But I think it's best if I sit next to my companion here now and contemplate what the fuck I'm doing here, because I think I'm a little confused as opposed to what this train, and whatever the hell it really is.
So,
just gonna kind of sit down and nod his head like, what the fuck?
For the chat, as you work with Ghost Rock, right, it drives you insane. Invariably, everybody, 100% of the time, gets driven mad by it. All these people use Ghost Rock in their inventions and devices, right? So, if you're expecting to find, like, a normal dude being like, oh, yeah, look, I made a normal device, right? You really don't understand the nature of new science and Deadlands. No, that's not like this is gonna happen. Yeah, it's, yeah. So, yeah, exactly, yeah. Being driven insane by the desire to research there. Oh, man, and the next one's actually from New York, and I just wasted the New York accent. How could I?
We'll make this one Irish.
Make this
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be Scottish. I didn't care what you said there, lad. Yeah. No, my name is Sylvester Lincoln Tate. I'm an avowed abolitionist and die-hard supporter of the Union, I am. I don't really care much for that accent there on that boy. You know, you come from the Emerald Isles. You know, you learn to love the flag, the Union, all it understands, and freedoms. You don't get these freedoms back here. You know, you gotta come around and you're not here, and you kind of been scared in the snow. You know? You didn't, can you? Can I hear you? Not understand.
Talking to?
To you, mostly.
Oh, to me?
You know, on account of your southern accent.
I'm gonna look around, and I'm just gonna tip my hat down to where I can't see him anymore and lean back.
Yeah. You know, starts regaling you guys with meteorological facts about the section of Illinois you're in. You know, it's average rainfall is 57 inches a year, right? You got 57 inches, that's nothing to go to Scotland. You go down to Scotland, it rains all the time, it's hardly green here, I don't know how you grow a crop.
I pull my hat back up, and I say, Mister, the only fact I'm gonna learn
It is
today...
Canadian. Maybe he's Canadian, that would be easier. Hey, it's about time I talked to you about my cyclonic trajectory.
Listen, buddy, all I want to know is how much blood's in a Canuck, all right? If you don't shut the hell up...
About
and let
5
me get
pints.
some shut-eye... Oh, of course you would know. Put my hat back down.
And the last fellow is a southern gentleman who this whole time has carried around a giant, just this cannon that's the side of his torso. He's as round as he is tall, has a Von Richter mustache, the goggles, the whole nine. Born in Georgia. Yeah, so there we go. That's one I can do, maybe. Probably not. I'm gonna fuck it up. I was born in Georgia, eh? You know, we're gonna fuck
Born in Georgia, mate.
And he is wearing a couple of Confederate Army medals. Despite his lack of physical conditioning, I mean, he's a big old boy. He's a big old. I mean, I should say he's 5'3", but also horizontally. You know, he's about as round as he is tall. And yeah, lugging around just the biggest fucking cannon thing you don't even know how he holds the thing. It makes the one that Sir Clyde Reed cannon hold diminutive. You know, it's I mean, this thing's massive, and he doesn't much cotton to conversate with any of y'all, but he does notice JD's disposition and accent and gives him a little reckon. And with that, I believe you guys have met the majority of the mad scientist. The one that hasn't really made a scene aside from Private Judson Conrad is a man in the red plaid suit that had the slim automaton. He's been keeping to himself, just writing in a notebook, and generally avoiding everybody's gaze under the rim of his bowler. But with that, we are moving on to he left. There we go. Yes. So, at about 3 hours out on the trip, Dr. Bailey has been studying his watch quite intently, right? And as if on cue, he stands up and goes, "Ahem! The train seems to be lacking in velocity. Perhaps it could use some grease." And he stands there looking expectantly. 10 seconds pass. 20 seconds pass. People start to look around in confusion. The other scientists in the car seem interested, but they're like straining to appear like they're aloof. Like one of them's reading a newspaper, but like, you know, like nobody wants to act like they're like, oh shit, what did he do? But that's clear that you know, everybody there is interested. And suddenly there is a huge surge of speed, and everybody is pressed back into their seats as the train rockets forward at near twice the velocity it was traveling previously. And Dr. Bailey says, I believe that's the frictionless lubricant that has been applied to the pistons to increase their efficiency. Yes. The Pat and Riddle goes, "Oh, we're doing that, are we? Why would I waste my time on simple locomotive when there's a contest to be won?" The Sir Clyde Reed Cannon says that you know, he adds a magnetic coil to the wheel assembly that has increased the stability and speed, and it will be apparent shortly. And sure enough, the train speeds forward once again, lurches a couple of times. And you are now traveling faster than any of you have ever traveled in your entire lives. We're probably going 60, 70 miles an hour on this train, which is in 1870 speed. I mean, like, you're all white knuckle. Oh! It's like a roller coaster. I mean, you know, it's quite the spectacle.
Will, are we going left fast or right fast? From like...
You are going... Oh, shit. What would that be for you? I don't even know. You're going left to right on your screen. The right is the front of the car.
Cool.
They're actually... Yeah, well, it's frictionless. It is, yeah. It is frictionless. The special frictionless piston lube. All right. But, the southern gentleman says, "I don't see the wisdom in unapproved modifications. Is there a reason Dr. Hellstromme doesn't publish the rules for this contest?" You know, which Von Richter might agree with. But he managed to have caught wind beforehand that this was tradition for the last 3 years on the symposium. So what is your device, Von Richter?
So Von Richter just kind of look around to everyone and say, "Oh, I suppose it's that. Is that what we're doing now? I suppose it's time to kind of collected himself after wondering what the fuck is going on, and he'll stand up and he'll say, I suppose you are," and this, I'm guessing it's fucking flying now, right? So he's kind of
Oh, yeah.
himself up as he kind of stands up. He'll kind of rise himself. I suppose this train is quite noisy, and we could be going a little bit quicker, right? And he'll kind of go reach on his coat and he'll push another button as well, and pretty much you'll just kind of hear like a little stream of steam go off outside. And
Give me a weird science roll.
what do you want? Here we go.
Oh man.
You're really getting mad at me today. I'm gonna red chip it. Red chip it.
Oh, wait. You can white to reroll. That's not a crit.
Oh no, I want to add the d6 to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that then. Yeah, I'll take a red. Well, we're not going to spend it tonight anyway. You bastards!
Here's the additional d6.
Barely!
That's what I needed.
Yeah, so your device kicks in, and explain what has happened as a result.
So pretty much the noise
To the crowd, you're now giving your dramatic display of prowess.
Okay, so he'll kind of look at everyone and says, as you noticed before, you heard the railings gliding, but now what I've added is a little bit of a mixture of ghost rock, as some of you may know, a little bit of oil, and a little special blend of mine that I won't be telling you today. But if you listen closely, you can no longer hear the track, and we're gliding at a much quicker speed now. And I like to call it's very similar to the frictionless lube that my friend used here, but I like to call it glide slime, if you will, glide slime.
Glide slime?
Slime. That's what it's going with. That's the first thing that popped in my
glide
head.
slime. All right. And the Hellstromme rep looks at you and goes, and makes a note. Now the train.
The Hellstromme rep.
Huh? Oh,
Where's the Hellstromme
he is standing right here. 1 inch circle. Right next to you now. Uh-oh.
I shoot him.
Well, that was good playing Deadlands with you guys. Well,
So
killed the rep of like the most powerful person in this part of the country. Sure, yeah.
So is he in the 1 inch circle?
Yeah, he is the 1 inch circle. That's his token.
I want to see what he's writing on his clipboard.
Ooh, yeah, we could do that. Give me a second here. Blanca, I didn't expect anybody to fuck with the Hellstromme rep.
I'm not fucking with the Hellstromme.
Give me
I'm
a
being
step.
Curious.
Give me a stealth roll.
Oh Jesus! I just was hoping like he was standing up and I could just do that.
Yeah,
back,
no, he's very observant about that. Ooh, but you might
It's
luck out here.
unskilled, So
Why?
come on.
Oh! Natural 1 trait roll. No, you can't quite make it out. In fact, you can make it out, but it's written in a cipher.
God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna keep that in mind. Gonna add that to the notes in my brain.
I might, in fact. So, by the time all of these modifications have kicked in, the train is hurtling along at about 80 miles an hour across the Great Lakes.
Oh, God. This
is too fast for a locomotive and the rail infrastructure of the time period. And while a little bit invigorating to those accustomed to traveling in the saddle, suddenly a shudder goes through the entire train, followed by the distinctive groan of metal under stress. The vibration swells underfoot and then rises into seat bottoms and armrests. The inventors all suddenly appear stricken with terror, and nobody makes a move.
Si la tren se para, la velocidad nos va a llevar volando.
I'm getting.
Glad slime helps with breaking.
I'm
So-
getting out my deck of cards and just looking at the cards.
Yeah, signs point to no.
What?
No, give me a gambling roll.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see.
Shit, do trains even have seatbelts in 2019?
Oh,
The cards tell you that this train is shaking itself apart, and that if something isn't done within 10 rounds, that it's gonna derail.
Oh shit. Ah! I don't like this. I am gonna briskly move up to Richter. And I'm gonna come over to him, sit next to him quick, and be like, I don't want to alarm you, but something's wrong. Something's really wrong.
Puedes decir otra vez.
I kind of look at her saying, "You're right. I'm having the time of my life." He's still standing, kind of holding into
Yeah.
the seat.
No, look, don't ask me how I know this kind of stuff, but the train is gonna break down.
Man, you are reaching
We're
for
going
that
too
acronym,
fast.
JoJo.
Too
But I
fast.
love It is in fact going too fast, and we have rolled combat initiative because 10 rounds from this moment, this train is going to derail and
Lord.
potentially kill all of you. But you know what also? It's 11 o'clock, guys. So we're going to leave it there.
Oh my god.
Oh,
gonna die.
shit. Train hurtling out of control. 10 rounds to figure out something, anything to save the day. Will our heroes make it? Well, you guys will have to tune in next week, won't you? Because they're in a dilly of a pickle, and this isn't going to get any better. I appreciate each and every one of you that's watched the show. Fantastic participation. Keep that chat alive. Follow and subscribe if you like it. It's only going to get better. We're only going to get greater. And I hope to see each and every one of you next week. From the League of Gentlemen Explorers to you, may your dice always roll hot. Oh, and check out these credits.
Yeah.